Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin of rbwins.com, and like every Friday, I'm joined by Jesse Schule from picksandparleys.net, from sportsmemo.com, and several other sites across the internet. And one of the finest handicappers you'll find anywhere right now. He's having a terrific football season to date. Jesse, how are you?
Doing fine, Ross. Really looking forward to another winning weekend, especially with the college slate. But yeah, NFL was really good last week as well.
Very good. And you're still in the top five in a lot of the standings in combined college football and the NFL, and individually in college football and the NFL, obviously, as well. So good for you. You could find Jesse at jesseschule.com, jesseschule.com, or you could find him at picksandparleys.net, sportsmemo.com. And like I said, numerous other sites. Do a Google search on Jesse Schule Sports, and you'll find plenty of places where you can locate Jesse, but preferably, folks, go to his website at jesseschule.com. You could find me at rbwins.com. It's rbwins.com. That's where you'll find all my best picks, which are my premium paid selections, affordable subscription plans, and also I do guarantee all my single game and multi-game daily packages. If you don't win, I will credit your account the exact amount of your purchase price. So hopefully that doesn't come into play, but reality is if you dabble in enough, it will, and you have that guarantee. Also, folks, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's absolutely free to do so. There's no hidden agenda. There's no subscription plans. You're privy to four of the finest handicappers in the country, and then add myself in, make it five. And we are a wealth of information here. I know some of you have complained of late, and Jesse, I'm sorry I have to address this while you're on the air with me, but to address some of the viewers who have complained about the length of the videos and why we talk about other things in the world of sports betting. Well, folks, it's a podcast. It's a betting show. It's a sports betting show, to be specific. And what we're hoping, and the design of this show from the get-go, was not only to give you free picks. You could find those anywhere. The internet's littered with them. We hope to make you a smarter sports bettor today than you were yesterday through the course of our conversations, above and beyond just the free picks. Anyway, Jesse, you have an interesting game. You are going to, intriguing game at that you're going to discuss, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs at the San Francisco 49ers. Currently, as we speak, Kansas City is a 2-point road favorite. The total is 49. The Christian McCaffrey trade, it has been all over the news. What's your take, my friend?
Well, Ross, I did have this game circled prior to last Sunday, and they talk about guys like Bill Belichick, and they say he's playing chess and everybody else is playing checkers. Well, in the handicapping business, if you're playing chess, you're looking way ahead while everybody else is focused on today and tomorrow. I really liked Kansas City in this spot, but I was kind of assuming that San Francisco was going to take care of business and beat Atlanta. If San Francisco had to beat Atlanta and Kansas, and of course I gave out Buffalo Bills on this show, so I was expecting Kansas City to lose last week. I was expecting it to be a bounce back game for them against a Niners team coming off a win. Unfortunately, the Niners lost 28-14 to Atlanta. A lot of that had to do with injuries, and those injuries are carrying over. I mean, their defense is still decimated by injuries. The big news is they pick up Christian McCaffrey, and there's been some line movement since the trade, which is kind of mind-boggling because if you know anything about football, you know he doesn't know the playbook. He's going to come in. They might hand him the ball a couple times. He might see some play, but he's not going to come in and run for 100 yards and catch, 7 or 8 passes. He's not going to be the focal point of the offense on day one. He might come in and make a cameo appearance at best. And we could get into how impactful of an acquisition that's going to be for San Francisco, and it certainly has potential. There are concerns, though. Christian McCaffrey's been banged up his entire career. When I think of Christian McCaffrey, that's sort of what comes to mind is the injury concerns. Another notable thing about him is I think he was the first high-profile player to sit out a bowl game, which is ironic since he's basically been injured for the majority of his career. But yeah, KC lost 24-20 to Buffalo. They're still relatively healthy. You look at the quarterback, the two quarterbacks here, comparing the two quarterbacks, Jimmy G versus Patrick Mahomes, not much of a comparison. You look at the head coaches, Andy Reid versus Jesus, it's on the tip of my tongue. You got it for me, Russ?
Kansas City, Andy Reid, and Shanahan, Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah,
So,
I keep on getting him mixed up with his dad, but
yeah.
it's a Super Bowl rematch. Kansas City won the Super Bowl. They outscored San Francisco 21-0 in the fourth quarter. That was a coaching mismatch where Andy Reid out coached Shanahan, and I think both teams need this game, but I think Kansas City's better quarterback, better coach, healthier. So I'm going to lean with Kansas City in this game.
Yeah, and also you folks out there, if you want to know specifics, find out how Kansas City does off a loss with Andy Reid as their head coach. A pretty darn good record, straight up. And when you're only laying 2, I would contemplate that Jesse's probably going to use the money line on this game rather than the -2. I think the money line is somewhere around -130 to 135 right now for Kansas City. And, folks, I mean, I know a lot of people say, I don't want to bet the money line in the NFL or college football, but, when the line is 2.5 or less, I mean, you don't want to leave open the possibility you win the game and not cover. And you're not being asked to lay a lot of juice. And 130 or 135, the same people who complain about that don't hesitate to lay 130, 135, 125 when it comes to Major League Baseball betting. So I don't know what your hesitation would be in the NFL or college football. It's not a sign of weakness. It's smart sports betting. And Jesse's one of the smartest out there and one of the sharpest out there. He likes Kansas City, and that speaks volumes to me because this guy's one of the hottest football handicappers on the planet since the start of this season. Anyway, I'm going to get to my game, which is Seattle at the LA Chargers. The Chargers are 4-2, but to me, they're an underachieving 4-2. And why do I say that? 4-2 is a pretty darn good record, right? If you go at that pace all year, you're going to win 12 or 13 games. But having said that, their 4 wins have come over opponents that have a combined record of 6-15-1 straight up. And since 2020, the LA Chargers have gone 1-5 against the spread as a home favorite of 3.5 to 7. Right now, they're right in the middle of that at 5. And on the other hand, Seattle, to me, is overachieved at 3-3 because not a lot was expected of the Seahawks, especially when you're replacing Russell Wilson, who was an icon in Seattle and probably a future Hall of Famer. And he's replaced by Geno Smith, who's been a well-traveled quarterback who was a second-round draft choice that was considered a bust at that time. However, you look at the last 3 games for Seattle, and what really jumps out at me, Jesse, is the fact that they've rushed for 174 yards a game, and they've averaged an enormous 6.2 yards per attempt. On the other hand, the LA Chargers, over their last 3 games, have allowed 147 yards per game on the ground and 6.5 yards per rushing attempt. I do think that Seattle will have their way in running the football, controlling the tempo of the game, and they've been pretty good in the turnover department through 6 games at +2. So my point being is I don't like them quite as much if they fall behind by more than one touchdown. However, I think because of their running game, if they don't shoot themselves in the foot with turnovers, they'll be in this game throughout. I would not be shocked whatsoever to see an outright upset here, but I am not going to get greedy, and I'll take the points with the Seattle Seahawks plus the 5 over the LA Chargers. Any thoughts, Jesse?
Yes, I do have thoughts on this game because I've had a look at this game, and the Seahawks, they do rank dead last in total defense, not scoring defense though. Which is characteristic that goes back to last year.
Yep.
They give up a lot of bend that doesn't break defense, right? They give up a ton of yards, not quite so bad in the points conceded, but 166 yards on the ground per game, which is pretty terrible. And Austin Eckler, the opposing running back for the Chargers, you know how many touchdowns he's scored in his last 23 games played?
No idea.
23.
Ah, very good.
So he hasn't scored a touchdown every game, of course, because sometimes you get two and sometimes you don't get one. But the anytime touchdown prop for Austin Eckler, I think it's going to be probably expensive, but I don't think the markets have quite caught up to how likely this guy is to score touchdowns. Especially, this is one of the highest totals on the board this week. It's a high total. It's expected to be a high scoring game. The Chargers are supposed to get their points. Seattle's not very good against the run, and Eckler is a guy. He's one of those guys that he catches passes in the end zone, and he gets the ball in short yardage situations. So the likelihood of him scoring a touchdown, I think, is going to be probably a lot better than what the odds they're going to offer. So that's something to keep an eye on for bettors out there.
Absolutely great points. And the bottom line is you talked about Christian McCaffrey earlier, and I agree with you. I would be shocked if he's ready to go on Sunday. And if he is, like Jesse said, you could be rest assured he's not going to get a lot of touches. There's no way that they're going to force feed him into this offense. There's no way, I don't care how smart you are, you're going to learn the playbook. They may create a package for him of about 10 plays that they could use him in plays he's comfortable with and knows the terminology. But I would venture to say the following week is when you're going to see a full diet of Christian McCaffrey. And let's hope he could stay healthy, Jesse. I mean, we're deprived of seeing one of the best players in the NFL when healthy. And he hasn't been, like you alluded to. So we'll see what happens there. And also, you mentioned that total in the Seattle game. Right off the bat, I said this is going to be a high-scoring game. Yeah, neither one of these teams could stop the run. Seattle has, over the last couple of years, has been terrible against the pass. Yet this total opened at 53 and went down to 50 already. And I don't know, what do you make of that? Is there something I'm missing there?
I ain't betting under, I can tell you that much.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for that input, by the way, buddy. You're a wealth of knowledge. Anyway, Jesse, tell the folks what you got coming up this weekend, I should say, and how they could find where your point of preference is and how you've been doing of late.
Well, Ross, we're heading into week 8 of college football. I've been hitting 80% for the entire season with college football and NFL combined. That percentage dipped down to right about 79.5, which is terrible. Terrible that happened. But we're still coming off another winning weekend last weekend. I do have a full card of college football and NFL already posted. I got an AFC North game of the month posted. And I like to send people to jesseschule.com, which is my own website. However, I must admit, you can get that AFC game of the month, AFC North game of the month for $2 at Sports Memo. And that's too good of a deal to withhold from the customers. So if they want to get that for $2, go to Sports Memo.
Folks, he's hitting 79% of his football picks on the year. That's NFL and college football combined. That's documented. You could find any site he's on, whether it be Picks and Parlays or Sports Memo. If you look at those statistics on both of those pages, just those alone, you'll find what he's saying is absolutely true, because I know a lot of you out there, after 6 weeks of the NFL and 7+ weeks in college football, are saying this guy is full of baloney. And I could understand why you would say that, because there's been a lot of false claims over the year with ridiculous win percentages. But through this period of time, it's documented, and it's documented independently by those two sites, what his record is. By the way, my NFL season right now, I'm at 63%, coming off my first losing week in the NFL last week, going 3-4. But I did cash in on my 10-star top play, which is my best bet, on the Philadelphia Eagles over the Dallas Cowboys. My NFL 10-star top plays this year, folks, 7-0. Perfect 7-0. NFL primetime games Sunday, Monday, and Thursday nights are combined 12-4. You can find me at rbwins.com. rbwins.com. Again, I went over all the details with you earlier. And don't forget, folks, just a friendly reminder once again, if you've been watching and you haven't subscribed yet, subscribe. You'll see an OSGA logo at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. And you just hover over that, hit the subscribe button. And while you're there, hit the alerts, notification bell, I should say. You'll be alerted immediately upon any of our podcast on this channel going up, so you don't have to keep searching every hour or so. And we don't do it live. We're very flexible here, so 24/7 you'll be able to access that right at our page and our YouTube channel. Until the next time, for Jesse Schule, the Iceman, and Ross Benjamin of Ross Benjamin Sports, we'd like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Good luck and God bless this weekend, folks.